Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, at 10-6, with the possibility, very realistic possibility, might I add, at getting the number 5 seed in the AFC, I honestly think, after evaluating them, they might be the most under-recognized team in the entire NFL. I mean, it truly is crazy. They are so under-recognized right now. Now, playing the Rams last week and then playing Indianapolis the week before, that might have something to do with it. But to be quite honest with you, with everything that was invested into this Chargers squad in the offseason, specifically on the defensive end, I still haven't really seen too many people give them their due diligence. I guess they started 1-2. The thing is, this team has a bunch of weapons. And they've won 4 straight football games, and they can hang in there with any team in the AFC and in the NFC alike. It truly is crazy how little noise I'm seeing about this Chargers team, and I cover the NFL. Like, welcome back to the channel. Obviously, today we're talking about the Los Angeles Chargers. If you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for more as I try and get to 25,000 total subs. But a like really helps out the algorithm, so I appreciate you guys so much. Fun fact, this is actually my first ever Chargers video. It's a team I've kind of kept my eye on, especially with the Raiders. My favorite player, Davante Adams, going to Las Vegas earlier in the offseason. It's a team I've had my eye on ever since they got that win week 1 against Las Vegas. They're just really enticing. And I don't really care. The worst part is, this team, I mean, they've dealt with injuries this season. The offensive line is not great. But they're getting healthier and healthier. And what I noticed when looking at this team is statistics actually in almost every regard, quarterback, running game, receiving game, defense, whatever the case is, statistics genuinely don't do this team credit. Offensively speaking, they're ranked 13th, putting up about 23 a game. Defensively, they're about 18th, giving up about 22 a game. You have critical guys like Joey Bosa coming back, or came back, I should say. Derwin James getting healthier. You have Drew Tranquill, my Notre Dame boy, with 138 tackles on the season, but it's just a very slept-on team. Obviously, you have Khalil Mack on the defensive line as well. We'll talk about the defense a little later on in the video, but like guys like Michael Davis, Kyle Van Noy, in the wake of absences. Like, it's just Morgan Fox. Like, there's some fascinating players. Chris Rumpf. There's fascinating players on this defense that most people would just overlook these names and be like, I don't really know anything about it. But looking at the offensive end specifically, we're talking about Justin Herbert. Now, what's crazy is Justin Herbert's in his 3rd season, right? He has 23 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. He's got a QBR of about 56.8, which is a career low. You know, he's coming off the season where he put up over 5,000 passing yards and 38 touchdowns. And in his rookie season, he put up 31 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Now, I understand that the Chargers at times have they've underestimated, I can't think of a proper word here, but they haven't lived up to their potential, specifically on the offensive end, also on the defensive end. But speaking of Herbert and the offense, you know, they've dealt with some stuff. They've dealt with some injuries to guys like, you know, Keenan Allen. Obviously, Keenan is just such an important piece to this team. He's only played 9 games on the season. Mike Williams has missed some time. Like, they've missed some guys on offense. But when I look at Herbert's stats this year, he's putting up almost 280 yards a game. He has 23 touchdowns and 10 interceptions for a quarterback rating of about 92.4. Completion percentage, very impressive at 68.5. People are not giving him the credit. And I don't know if it has to do with the way his first 2 seasons went statistically, or if people just aren't really watching the Chargers. It might be a combination of everything, but like, regardless of, Herbert could be 10 touchdowns, 23 interceptions right now. I'd still feel great about his long-term outlook and his long-term value. Like, this is a player. And regardless of the Chargers season, if they were to make the Super Bowl, if they were to win the Super Bowl, blah, 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 I'm not even focused on that. What would go a long way to me is this Chargers team simply just getting a playoff win. And right now, the way it stands is if you get that victory next week against Denver, you're probably playing Jacksonville. You could be playing Tennessee, but you're probably playing Jacksonville. And I get it, in week 3 of the season, you lost 10-38, and Jacksonville's actually a pretty hot team right now, but if the Chargers were to get a playoff win, I think that would silence a lot of critics. I'm not too worried about the critics, though. So it is what it is. But Justin Herbert, to me, he's a more than capable quarterback in the National Football League, and I have no worries about his long-term outlook in any regard. You have Austin Ekeler. He had a crazy week last week. 881 yards on the season. He's averaging over 4.5 yards per game. He has 13 touchdowns. Don't forget about Joshua Kelly, enticing back, averaging about 4.2 yards per carry. It's definitely nice to have him there as well. But Austin Ekeler, a multifaceted player. He also has 700 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. So this man's having a crazy season, rushing and receiving. One of the most multifaceted, multi-talented running backs in the entire National Football League, but for some reason, I simply don't see anything about him. Like, I quite genuinely don't see anything about him. Now, I do want to say this real quick. I live in Chicago, all right? So regardless of how the Chargers are doing, I probably won't see too much Chargers propaganda or, ripping on them, or regardless, high and lows. Probably won't see too much Chargers content, but like I said, I cover the NFL. I simply don't see anything about these guys. Mike Williams is another one of those players, and I would loop in Keenan Allen with this. Joshua Palmer, by the way, has been having a phenomenal second season. He has almost 70 catches. 70 catches, guys. 730 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's just a very enticing young prospect to have as well. But Mike Williams, Keenan as well, but stats just simply don't do Mike Williams credit. There's not a single statistic Mike Williams could have that does him credit. Like, he's got almost 60 catches on the year, almost 900 yards, 4 touchdowns, but still, I just don't think that really shows how crazy of an impact Mike Williams is. So they have threats on offense, and defensively, as I was alluding to earlier on in the video, Drue Tranquill. Why do I keep saying it like that? Drue Tranquill. Jeez. My Notre Dame boy. Born and raised out here in Chicago, so Notre Dame's just kind of like the team because U of I sucks and Northwestern sucks. Like, both of them have always sucked. I do like Juice Williams. If any Chargers fans know Juice Williams, that's pretty cool. But anyways, you got Drew, you got Derwin James getting healthy, you got Kenneth Murray Jr., you got Michael Davis, you have Khalil Mack, you have Kyle Van Noy now, who's been very nice. You have Joey Bosa, who's back and healthy. It's just a really promising, enticing team. Morgan Fox with 6.5 sacks, Khalil Mack with 8 sacks. I like the outlook of this team. Bryce Callahan, there's just really solid names on this team, offensively and defensively, which, once again, statistics just don't do any of these players credit. It just simply is as simple as that. I feel like we're making an orange juice commercial out here, but it's true. It's that simple. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you want more Chargers content, let me know down below. But as always, hit that like button, hit that sub button. Peace.